steady career as a doctor and successfully preventing Michael Palin from becoming a TV travel journalist for many years. He found Terry Gilliam in a flea market in Afghanistan. Terry Jones was hiding half naked in a dustbin in India, and Eric Idle was discovered at an all-girls school in Reading, where he claimed to be studying lipstick, underwear and the matron for an article in Spank magazine. These were the boys he was looking for. He went straight to the BBC and showed them certain photographs. The rest is history. In October 1969, Monty Python limped onto British television screens. Almost everybody who saw it did. There could be no doubt about it. It was a TV show. Pampered and spoiled, the cast soon became monsters. Maddened by success, they began to deny that Monty Python even existed. So, what about the real Monty Python? Is he still alive today? Well, technically yes. He's on a life support system in an old jokes home in Surrey. When reached for tonight's tribute, he said, "Who?" and asked for a new bedpan. So the legendary wit has not dimmed with the passing of time and his colon. How fitting it would be if to celebrate 30 years of his show he were to be knighted by the Queen. What could be a more fitting tribute than if he finally became Sir Monty Python? Thank you.
Now, one of those shows where celebrities pay tribute to other celebrities. The BBC like those, they're dirt cheap and a lot of star names. Personally, I prefer biting the heads off whippets, but what can you do? Anyway, here it is. Enjoy. Or else.
Monty Python's Flying Circus, the self-styled comedy show responsible for the Dead Parrot sketch, Spam and the Ministry of Silly Walks, sketches which have since been subjected to irritating and, quite frankly, mystifying repetition by generations of unimaginative students. 30 years after the first broadcast of this so-called cult show, we ask, why bother watching?
Happy birthday, Pythons. Happy anniversary. In your honor, I'd like to just eat that fish.
I never quite knew what you did on television, and I have a confession, I've never seen your show, but I'm told it's acceptable.
Python somehow appeals to that sensibility, that sense of they are timeless.
Monty Python! Were they the ones that did the parrot sketch?
Well, was it the Monty Python about the parrot? That was a Monty Python, wasn't it?
An awful lot has been said about Monty Python over the years.
30 years, is it? Wow. Doesn't time fly.
Come on.
Here we go.
Never really seen the point of Monty Python, to be honest. Very derivative.
Monty Python? Never liked them. Sooner spend an evening with Alan Hansen.
Oh, well, I could never be rude. Well, fucking much.
Cheers.
I mean, frankly, I think it would be better for everyone if they just died.
Silly, silly, silly. I'm not having things getting silly. Now, nobody likes a good laugh more than I do. Except perhaps my wife and some of her friends. Oh, yes, and Captain Johnson. Come to think of it, most people like a good laugh more than I do, but that's beside the point. Now, let's have a good, clean, healthy, outdoor sketch. Get some air into your lungs.
So don't forget, in the studio at 12:30, I'll be talking to the entire Monty Python team. So wherever you are, stay tuned to BBC Two.
One.
Sorry.
There, that's mine.
No, it isn't. Everything thrown away here is property of the BBC. Can't you read?
But I like Joanna Trot.
Be quiet. Now, what is this? Oh! Monty Python's contribution to Euro Show 71, a showcase of the best of European TV variety. Oh, no wonder it's on the rubbish dump. Still, it'll do for this evening.
In the midst of this green and pleasant land, of sleepy hamlets and quiet rivers, peace has reigned for 1,000 years. For this is the country of Shakespeare, of Keats, and of Sir Norman Fowler. This is England. And here too in England it is May Day, a day which is still celebrated in the English village as it has been for 1,000 years. Here, beneath the spreading chestnut trees, stout yeomen in customary dress greet the coming of the spring with folk dances of great charm and antiquity. In this village, the time-honoured maypole custom survive, as the famous Morris dancers weave their patterns around their May Queen to the sound of fiddle and flute. But why is May Day celebrated in this way?
The whole point about May Day is... I'm sorry, I've forgotten what I was going to say.
The whole point
About May Day is...
Oh yes, the whole point about May Day is the symbolic reaffirmation of life represented in this country by a rich variety of folk customs. In the ancient town of Lowestoft, they still celebrate May Day with the traditional fish-slapping dance. In Beccles in Suffolk, May Day is marked by the traditional gavotte of the Long John Silvers, reliving the days when pirates ruled the seas. And in Hereford, nothing happens at all. In Bolton, Lancashire, May Day means the annual return of the overdue library book, a much-loved ceremony that somehow captures the spirit of all that is most colourful, exciting, and indeed exotic in the north of England. While in the city and county of Bristol, it's nun-boiling week. And people in North Somerset join the people of Hereford in just hanging around for a bit. In the industrial conurbation of Batley, the townswomen's guild celebrates the 1st of May in a very special way with their reinterpretation of the renewal of all forms of life in the miracle called spring. While people in Leighton Buzzard join the people from Hereford and North Somerset in doing bugger all. But what about Sweden?
Hey, åsen er på måsen lidt et nåsen gælder på fundet. Jeg har det svenska for en altid nu ned. Åsen er på måsen lidt et nåsen hver dag ned.
The City of London also reflects the spirit of joy through rebirth at its world-famous stock exchange, where May Day is honoured by the spring dance of the Futures Brokers. This charming variation on the traditional merchant banker's hornpipe expresses the deepest yearning of all financiers for more and more money. This strangely touching dance offers up in a surprising climax a fervent prayer that one day each financier shall find some meaning in his life outside this round of eternal acquisition, and that this meaning shall bring him liberation from the whole grisly process. Elsewhere in the city, the casual visitor may be lucky enough to glimpse the traditional Maytime plummet of the bankrupt company chairman. Sport, of course, has its place at May Day, but whereas scoring was once largely a heterosexual process, in recent years the celebrations have developed into dances that have little to do with fertility and procreation. Oh dear. Meanwhile, at the Albert Hall in London, people from all over the Commonwealth gather to watch a display of all-in cricket. And so, as the spirit of May Day spreads over the length and breadth of Britain, people gather to send greetings. Leicestershire gynecologists gather to send greetings to gynecologists everywhere. In Dumbarton, Scottish beekeepers gather to send greetings to beekeepers everywhere, except in Spain. And in Stafford, ambulance men send greetings to ambulance men everywhere. And people in Leighton Buzzard join the people who are standing around in North Somerset and in parts of Rutland, who have got together with the people from Hereford in order to send greetings to people in all parts of the world everywhere who are doing very little on the whole. This, then, is May Day in our land. Well, I'm sorry that wasn't very good, but at least you hadn't seen it before. Unlike most BBC programmes, which aren't very good either, but which you have seen before. Now, next on BBC Two...
Oh, I've got to take that.
No, this is the property of the BBC and American Airlines.
Oh, I cleaned the gob off it.
What?
Yeah, a bloke gobbed all over it, flung it in a bin, I cleaned it up.
Oh, take it away. Sorry about that. Now, next on BBC Two...
Do you want to come back to my place?
What?
Do you want to come back to my place?
Oh, all right.
Great.
Now, you will shower, won't you?
I have showered. You've seen me before. What do you like to be on, top or underneath?